Can you believe it? The IRS just omitted a report yesterday, Friday, 15th of January 2021. They stated that they will be a few weeks behind on starting to process the individual tax returns this year. The magic date as of right now, tentatively, or until further notice, is February 12th, 2021. That's when the IRS will initiate turning essentially their machine or whatever their internal things to start processing. I'm not an agent. I'm not an IRS agent, CPA, or anything of that nature. So this is a few reasons, or a couple of reasons. Reason number one, it has to do with the law that was passed back in December of 2020. Obviously, we all know there was a lot of stimulus and code changes, IRS language talking, I don't know. And a lot of people were also in line and still receiving the $600 checks. That was one thing, and a lot of other code IRS upgrades. How will this affect you and I, or why this should we care? You and I, we should care because this year you should plan ahead to wait a little longer than usual to receive your refund for many reasons. There's a very, very high chance you should receive your stimulus somewhere around March, or I speculate a little bit later if your e-file yours and there's no complication, everything's smooth and there's no complications, you should receive it somewhere in March. Also, something else to take in consideration is that if Biden does not pass anything, it should be all sweet and dandy. Now, if he does pass something, expect that IRS to push back or wait a little longer to implement all those changes. What are some of the things that Biden is trying to push so we can all receive this year is the extra $1,400 stimulus check, so it can be a total of $2,000, which was promised. And in addition, the up to $3,600 child tax credit or the $3,000 child tax credit. If you want to know more further information, a breakdown of that, please go back a few videos where I made a video discussing about Biden's plan, and I go more into detail about that. In addition to that, there's other tax implications that I'm not going to go over it here. There will be a longer video, and I want to make this a really short and sweet. So those will be some of the things that would affect us. Here, taking briefly at my notes. Another thing that I wanted to point out is a suggestion or a tip to have your taxes go smoothly as possible and you don't get delayed is try to attempt to wait in the first or second week of February. As why you should wait, and by this time you should know, is a few things. One, you should already by then have your $600 deposited via your bank account, or you should have received it in the mail, the check, $600 check, or via the debit card. Obviously, if you have received it, don't claim it with your tax preparator to attempt to recover it. Now, if you have not received it, then at the time of when you're filing your taxes, tell your tax preparator, hey, I did not receive anything. Please claim it on my taxes. And there's a provision where they would claim it on the taxes called recovery rebate tax credit, is where that tax preparator will recover it. Now, why is this important? Because like I mentioned before, you want as minimal complications as possible to your tax return. Otherwise, when things get complicated, we got to stop the whole machine to figure out this problem. Then we can get the whole thing going. If you want your tax refund as fast and smoothly as possible. The second reason is by then we should have a more realistic expectation after Biden has been sworn in and the ceremony has been over. By then we should know that if his package is more in line, going to pass sometime soon or rather than later. And that way, at least you take advantage of, in this year, collect that extra $1,400 or that extra $3,000 for child tax credit and other tax credits that I'm not going to go into detail, versus waiting until 2022. Also, keep in mind, this year, the IRS is pointing out that it does have up to 21 days to verify, process individual taxes, and get the funds out. So what I'm speculating, and this is my opinion, is I think they're going to take their sweet time because, there's a lot of changes and they're a little bit behind on many things. In addition to that, before I forget, is if for some reason and March of 2020 or in the December stimulus stimulus, the $600, you didn't get them. For some reason, there was a born baby at the time, or you haven't done your taxes. And then this time you will, or you should attempt to recover it via the recovery rebate that I mentioned. And that way it will include this in this year's taxes. In addition, and finally, to wrap it up, is remember, folks, this tax stimulus is tax-free. It should not get taxed on it. It should not affect other benefits of certain nature. It's kind of like a grant, free money, free money and whatnot. But that's all the information and update I have in regards to that. Please enjoy your weekend. If you like the content, please consider subscribing and sharing and making a comment and I will keep you up to date as things develop on this and many other programs such as the EIDL, PPP, and other relevant information. For all you that don't know me, my name is Efren. I'm a licensed real estate agent in the state of Illinois. If for some reason you also have a property, I'm a real estate investor, or have some real estate investment connections with other investors, that if you have a property that you either inherited, divorced, or you're tired of being a landlord, feel free to contact me. I may have some solutions that everybody may have a win-win for everybody. Obviously, that's the goal. And stay tuned and have a beautiful weekend, all right?